So it's been a little while, and I apologize. I've been slacking on the videos, but I'm here and I want to do a quick lesson on Zydeco drumming. I'm sorry for the rinky-dink style that it's going to be in. I'm in the process of getting more professional recording equipment, mics, and stuff like that. But for now, it's really going to be the information that I'm talking about with some playing as well. So first off, I would like to just preface this lesson with saying that I'm not Creole. I didn't grow up playing Zydeco. I didn't grow up as a Zydeco drummer. And there's plenty of guys out there that are more knowledgeable about the music, that are better than me at it, that have been playing it for their whole lives. And so I really encourage you guys to look up Keith Frank and Jeffrey Broussard and their bands and see the style that they're playing, what their drummers are doing, and then obviously going back into older records with Buckwheat Zydeco, Clifton Chenier, Boozoo Chavis, all kind of the classic Zydeco artists that changed the way that the music was played. So with that out of the way, let's get into the drums and the drummer's role in the Zydeco band with the different beats you're going to play, the feel, all that good stuff. So first, right off the bat, there's a few beats that are going to pop up ubiquitously, essentially across the board on the vast majority of Zydeco records are going to have like one of these 2 or 3 beats. So there's a classic Zydeco beat, there's a waltz, which is called a baissava. There's going to be what I've called a Zydeco shuffle. And lastly is an older style that was perpetuated a lot by Clifton Chenier and his band. The drummer in his band was a man by the name of Robert St. Julian, and he played this beat on the snare drum. And it's sort of a mixture of what the Zydeco beat became with actually a lot of kind of New Orleans snare drum. So I'll play that first for you here. So you can hear the backbeat in there. You can hear him play it on Baby She's Gonna Stay with Clifton Chenier. But really, if you just want a masterclass in Zydeco, in rhythm and blues, drumming and groove playing, listen to any Clifton Chenier album, because Robert St. Julian was on the vast majority of them, and especially the live records, Live at St. Mark's, Live at Montreux, Live at San Francisco Blues Festival, because all of those albums are just a master class in groove playing. How that evolved into what we might say is a basic Zydeco beat. Drummers took the 4 on the floor and essentially just turned it into a 2/8 note pattern with the 2/8 notes on the snare drum playing the backbeat. And this is what that sounds like at a medium tempo. So if you can hear the way that the bass drum and the snare drum are phrased, it's not really straight, it's not, and it's not swung either. It's in the cracks. It's right kind of in the middle. And that's, I would say, the most important part of playing an authentic Zydeco beat and getting that feel down, is being able to play right in that sweet spot between straight and swung and make it kind of bounce a bit. It's dance music. If you go to Lafayette or Lake Charles or other areas of Louisiana where there's a lot of really great Zydeco bands, people want to listen, and even more than that, they want to get up and dance. So it's your job as the drummer, as the basis of, you know, the song and the rhythm. You have to make them do that. You have to make them feel the beat and feel the music. So let's speed it up a little bit. So here's a variation on that basic Zydeco pattern. And I actually copied this from one of my teachers, Stanton Moore, and he showed me a couple variations that were inspired by Mardi Gras Indian rhythms. The first half of the measure in the bass drum is the same as the standard Zydeco beat, boom, boom. But the second half, you go into this sort of Mardi Gras Indian influenced bass drum pattern. So this is what that sounds like. So the next beat I want to show you is what I've deemed a quote-unquote Zydeco shuffle. The best version I know of it is on a Buckwheat Zydeco record called A Night Like This. It's the first track called Matifi, and Nathaniel Jovelet plays just an unbelievable version of this beat that I fell in love with as soon as I heard it. And so I'll play it for you guys now so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. So unfortunately, my camera card filled up, so I had to switch it. And it's nighttime now because I had to do some other stuff. But anyway, back to the lesson. It's gonna look like I time traveled because this is gonna be in the middle of the lesson. So it doesn't really matter that much. Anyway, so you can hear he's essentially playing a straight shuffle on the hi-hat, right? And then he's keeping that chugging Zydeco doo-doom doo-doom bass drum going as well. Ghost notes on the snare with an accent on 2 and 4 with a little bit of an accent on the end of 2 to kind of mimic that Zydeco beat. So we're gonna time travel to talk about a waltz. Woo! So the next really important beat to know when playing Zydeco is what's called a baissez-va. And baissez-va is Creole, and it essentially means a slow bluesy waltz. And you know, there's a specific dance that goes along with it, and it's a really beautiful feel. So it's a 6/8 feel. When you hear 6/8 and like a bluesy waltz, you don't think to like whack the living bejesus out of the snare drum, but that's what they want to hear. You know, you play 2 and 3 on the hi-hat just like you would playing, you know, a waltz with brushes or something like that. The biggest difference is that you really crack the snare drum. So this is what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. The best tunes, I think, at that tempo and in that style are by Clifton Chenier. Again, I know I'm talking about him constantly, but he's the king of Zydeco, and he did a lot of songs at a baissez-va tempo and feel. One of my favorites that we actually play a decent amount in Terrance's band is called You Used to Call Me. So I would definitely check that out. So we're back at night now, and we've reached the end of the lesson. I tried to keep it succinct. It's really difficult to do that when you're talking about a music that has over 100 years of history. And especially when I am somebody that just has a fairly cursory knowledge of it. But this is kind of Zydeco drumming 101. It's the basics of what you need to do to hit on a Zydeco gig. Hopefully I can be putting out more content similar to this. So let me know if there's specific things that you guys want to see me play or hear more about, and I'll be sure to take that into account. Maybe specific songs that I do with Terrance Simien, or just a deeper dive into a specific feel or beat or something along those lines. So that about does it, and I'll catch you guys on the flip.